So welcome to the start of the 2047 season. My name is Paul, also known as the Northman, and as we enter the 2047 season, we also have the recap of our Champions League games, which we played in our pre-season before the league campaign starts. So we started that with a 1-1 draw against Barcelona, and this secured us qualification into the knockouts. Absolutely blown away. When I saw our fixtures in the Champions League this season, it's the hardest we've ever had, and yet we were successful and got through into the knockouts. I'm hoping in the future seasons we don't have such a difficult fixtures in the Champions League, which means hopefully now we can start getting knockouts year after year. But 1-1 against Barcelona, 90th minute free kick from Hjelle got us that goal. We did end with a 2-0 defeat to Bayern Munich, but at that point we've already qualified, finishing in 20th place. Now, if we had not got that point against Barcelona, we still would have qualified in 24th place. But yeah, it's a little bit tight, isn't it? I'm happy we went through with a few spaces to spare. And in the knockout round, we drew against Porto. So in the first leg, we did get a draw, 1-1. We scored first, McDowell, on the 9th minute, before they scored and equalised just 1 minute after that. So 1-1, going into the away leg, we needed to be solid. Now, unfortunately, in the second minute, Kielstra picked up his second yellow card, and we were down to 10 men. And from that situation, you're always going to be up against it. We ended up losing 5-0. At 2-0, we went for it, trying to get back into the game. So it was always going to either work or we'd concede a few more. So we ended up going out 6-1 on aggregate, but that score really doesn't justify the game or the tie. Going down 10 men in the second minute, we were never going to go through at that point, unfortunately. After that, I have played a couple of friendlies, Jev and Strømsgodset, both from Norway, a 4-0 and a 4-1, just to keep our legs fresh before we come in that opening day against HB. So in terms of the transfers, ins and outs that I have been doing, very few ins, only 4 players coming in. A lot of people have gone out. So first off, Pettersson has gone to Lecce in Italy for only 800k, which is a big loss after paying 5 million a few years ago for him. 800k plus 50% in next sale. He just never became that player I wanted, to be honest with you. So we've ended up letting him go. He complained a lot. Paul Rowlands, our young English central defender, has gone on loan again, this time to KI, so his second loan inside the nation. This is 3 years now in the Faroe Islands as well, so hopefully he continues to develop. Also going to KI is Levang, again just trying to help them, hopefully help them develop and get better ready for the European campaign. 2 players gone to Vikingur Göte, Sin Annie, for, I don't know, 4th season in a row, has gone on loan to Vikingur Göte now, and also Abdi has stayed in the Faroe Islands this time and gone on loan to Vikingur Göte. Again, hopefully can help them in Europe. Dahl, also one of our youngsters, who's gone to HB. Selling our young right back, who complained a lot. Went on loan to Halmstad, complained, wanted to come back. Went on loan to Lillestrøm, complained, wanted to come back. We've ended up selling him for profit, plus 50% of next sale. So we paid 2.6. End up selling for 4.1, rising to 5, plus 50% of next sale. I think it's money well spent for someone who's just going to complain. So I'm happy with that. France, our young striker, has gone on loan now feeder club Halmstad. Hopefully can get some football there. And Christiansen, who again was complaining he wanted a loan. So we've got him out on loan to Strømsgodset. Said he's going to get some actual football. Will only help him when he comes and plays for the national team, so I'm happy for that. Mihelsens, the young Latvian winger, who had been with us a few seasons, really, signed 2041, so 6.5, 7 seasons before we've ended up selling for $1 million, plus 50% next sale. Maybe we'll get some more money, maybe not, I'm not sure there. Scala's gone on, sold to KI, one of our young goalkeepers. We were never going to use him. They wanted him. Just have him. A weird one. A player we picked up obviously on a free transfer a couple of years ago in Koskinen. isn't the world's best player, I wouldn't have said, but Man City came in for him. So after we picked him up on a free, we've ended up selling for 5.5, rising to 7.25, plus 50% of next sale on him. I think that's a really good bit of business. And at the minute, it's about boosting our profits so we can spend big when we find someone, because the problem we've got is failing financial fair play, because our wage expenditure is so much more than our income from the league. So these sales do need to continue. Michael Madsen has gone to Rosenborg, 5.5 million plus 50% of next sale. Again, was like third or fourth choice central defender, never really cemented in place. Maybe this season 45 cemented in the league, but never looked amazing. But no, 5.5 I think it rises to, plus 50% next sale. Happy with that. Arkovic, who we signed for 3.2, we've ended up selling for 3.2 plus 50% of next sale to FC Porto. So again, I think there's profit in there long term if they end up selling them on. A couple of loans. Silva's gone to AGF. Just complains a lot, to be honest with you, that guy. Nielsen has gone, one of our young players. And then finally, a final sale was Venton Porter. I signed him with the idea of moving him on for profit. And that's exactly what we did. Signed for 1 million. And 1 year later, we sold him for 5.5 million plus 50% of next sale. So I would say that's a good bit of business. 25.5 million brought in. 3.7 million spent at the minute. So Boca, who we looked at, actually paid 170k for him. I think it was a compensation fee. So really pleased with him. I think he could develop well. Jan Jacobsen, a left back who's more right footed than left footed, comes in as a potential. Maybe he gets better, maybe he doesn't. Someone will keep an eye on. But brought him for 1 million. Definitely does have some potential. One of the experienced players I said I wanted for central midfield, Solheim, 30 years old. So goes against what we normally sign, but he can play defensive mid or centre mid, both as a playmaker style. 2.5 million, I think it's money well spent to have an experienced quality player in the squad. So I'm really pleased with that signing. And then finally, this is a sign to make profit player. Comes in Che Rathgater. I have no idea. English central mid, right back, right wing, striker. I don't know. But picked him up on a free transfer with very minimum agent fees. He was signed with the idea of playing for our B team and maybe flipping for a few million in a year's time. Again, it's just about the profit. We have 126 million in the bank now. We've made 16 million profit this season, 12 million last season. We are projected to be at minus 3.37 at the end of this period. I don't think that's correct. At the minute, we're 60 million. Now, our finances do mean that we are spending 3.2 million a month on wages. That's only about 38 million a year on wages. So I don't think we'll actually drop to what they projected we're going to lose. But I think we're at a period now where we transition. We've got some really good players. I'm trying to hold on to them. But the backup players, where I've got more backup players available, I'm moving them on for money. And we've made, 22 million in profit in transfers this season. So clearly it is working, and it is a plan which I'm going to stick to do for the short term anyway. Now, another bit of news to mention is Nan Talon is now labelled as a backup. Now, the reason behind that is he is 30 years old, definitely a very talented goalkeeper. But I had a lot of hope that this Theus Otterson could become a proper top goalkeeper. Perfectionist personality definitely makes me think that as well. And he said he wanted to start to be considered a star player. And I had to take the punt of, do we stick with Nan Talon for the next 4 or 5 years, or do we hope we can hold on to this guy for 10 years? So I took the punt, dropped Nan Talon, who's actually accepted it now and he's happy to be a backup. And Otterson, now a star player, he has signed a new deal, 4-year deal, with the optional extension of another 3 years. So I can dig my feet in if I want. So our team going into this season is Otterson in goal. Kelsup at left back, Dolner at right back, Meng and Mark Watson in the middle, Gonzalez defensive mid. It will be Sterler, but he has been injured, so Solheim is playing in central mid today. McDowell on the right, Mishan, Midskuggen and Lidlskar up top. Mustafa is going to be pushing Lidlskar for that stand spot this year. 20 years old now, 3.7 million spent on him. Lidlskar is now 31. I think Ricardo Mustafa could become a goal scoring machine for us. He has all the attributes to put the ball in the back of the net. So we'll see how he does. But I'm excited to see how we do this year. I really am excited to see how we do. Kielstrup is just... He's been so good. That send-off against Faroe really disappointed me. All in all, signing a player who maybe could have been first team, the fact that he has pushed in and become a proper first team player, I'm really, really pleased. So I've got to say I'm happy with how he has developed in this squad. And Dolner, obviously, on the other fullback position is just insane. No wonder he's labelled as a wonder kid. He's just insane. I mean, we've got 2 wonder kids on that wing because in front of him we have McDowell, who also is a wonder kid. So, you know, can't complain. So, yeah, happy with how it's looking. We can keep pushing on. We can keep improving. We are in the process of upgrading our training facilities again. They did drop. After a few years, they always just drop. But the board have agreed now to expand again, so they will go up to state of the art. The weird bug in Football Manager still means I can't get our youth facilities to state of the art, which is annoying. But another reason why I am going to go with a vanilla game next year, not an extended database. Also, one thing I've noticed is any Danish players who are playing for other teams in the league are gaining citizenship. Anyone who plays for us are not gaining citizenship, Danish players. They just wait and wait and wait for the paperwork. Like, well, I mean, this is annoying because he has been... for many years, yet still doesn't class as a Faroe Islands national player, even though he should. Michael Meng, still not capped by Denmark, so could play for us. Awaiting paperwork for the last 5 years. But if he played for another team in the league, it would be fine. So again, another reason why, yes, it's been a great series, but these little bugs are just stopping it going from that next level. Some of these players are brought to the club should be helping take the national team to the next level. And we've not been able to do that because of the issues. So quickly looking at the national team, obviously we need to recap how it went last year because we didn't look in the last episode. So we had all the Nations League we played. So we start with a 1-0 victory over Belarus, Rigsetra on the score sheet, before a 3-0 defeat away to Iceland, kind of expected. A 2-2 away to Kosovo, Rigsetra and Nolsa on the score sheet, losing to Belarus on neutral ground, losing at home to Iceland but only 1-0, before a 3-0 victory with a Rigsetra hat-trick over Kosovo saw us finish in second place with 7 points ahead of Belarus and Kosovo. Absolutely blown away and delighted with the development of the national team. Our ranking now is we are ranked 138, so we have gone from being around 150 to 138. Our team is still decently strong. Obviously, we are hampered by the fact a lot of these players I'm bringing in don't end up qualifying to play for the national team, which is a bit annoying. I am considering signing young Danish players now and sending them on a 2 or 3 year loan in and around the nation before they end up playing for our club. It's another option I'm considering, but we're pushing on. The national team's looking good. This tactic is definitely working. We've got some good players in there now who are looking solid. So we just keep going. We keep going. We keep progressing. I do think it's always going to be a background part of this save because we're just never going to push on to the point where we need to actually dedicate time to it. But yeah, season 2047 is going to start. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I'll see you next time.